Hi, this is Robert with Cruzbike, and today we're going to do a swap of the handlebars of a previous generation Q45 with the new Cruzbike Q45 handlebar. This handlebar is sized as a 22/2 grip section for the mountain gear that comes on the Q45. The old bars, as you can see here, always kind of put your hands back. We're going to swap that out and see what happens here. So I'm going to take my alcohol with a little syringe, squirt that under the grip, and work the grips off first. I use alcohol because it dries up really nice and easy, makes it easier to get the grips on later. Once we have both of our grips off on either side of the lever, we're going to use our number 4 Allen to remove the brake levers, loosen those up a little bit. Note the shifter. If you have the NX twist shifter, that particular item is going to require a 2.5 millimeter Allen. I'm going to slide that off. Now you note on my demo test bike here, my cables are not routed under the pivot clamp. I'm going to change that here in a minute so you can see the proper cable routing. We're going to use our number 4 Allen, slide the bar out. If you loosen the handlebar clamps pretty loose and leave one on one side, you can actually leave one on and then just slide the handlebar through with the grip section facing forward. And then because one of our clamps is already in there, it'll be really easy to hold that and tighten that down. We're going to install the second handlebar clamp. Once again, I always like to stress that these do not need to be super tight. You want them to be snug so that the bars do not move when you ride. The Cruzbike logo should be centered. I like having the grip sections roughly at a similar angle to the head tube to start. That should get you close. And always on these type of clamps, just like the chainstay clamps, we want a nice even gap on the top and the bottom. We don't want to bottom these out against the slider tube. Now on this bike, I mentioned the cables, I did not have them routed correctly because I was changing some different gear. But now that I have these handlebars, I want to route all my cables under the pivot clamp. They can either go under the pivot clamp like this on your bike, or you can have them go through the routing holes on the clamp. It's personal preference. And here I'm going to tighten my pivot clamp down again. Reinstall my front brake. Front brake goes on the left side. Routing my cables at the front of the bar, and then I'll repeat for the right side. Rear brake first and then the shifter. Now note on the stock Q45 you don't have to do any recabling in order to make this swap. It goes straight on and there's plenty of cable, just the right amount of cable. And here I'm going to reinsert my grips. Now we'll use our 4 millimeter Allen to tighten our brake levers down. And take a look at the hand position new versus the old. Much more forward. You're going to have a lot more cockpit room. Let's check it out. So here when we sit down now, we have a nice natural arm position. Much better than before where we were pinned in a little bit more. Now I want to note the grip section on these new bars is nice and long, so you can trim it a little bit and make it a little shorter if you want for a different position, and off you go. This setup is great and I highly recommend it for the older model Q45s if you want a little bit more reach for your arms. As always, thanks for watching, and email us at support@cruzbike.com if you have any questions.